Hey everybody. Oh god. Welcome back to Words Are Hard. It has been quite some time since we have uh, been together. um, got a new intro song there for you. Hope you enjoy it. A little more upbeat, I think, than the last one. A little more fast paced, if you will. Um, wow, it has been a fucking minute since I have recorded a podcast for you guys, and I apologize. Life is insane sometimes. Um, I still have one podcast that I recorded with my friend Nita that I still have to edit and put up, but it felt a little wrong to just kind of disappear for like 2 months and then come back with a podcast episode like nothing happened. So I kind of wanted to record a little bit of an update episode, just kind of catch you up on where I've been in my life and what's going on with the podcast, like plans for the future and where I'm at right now and what I've been doing in the meantime. So I also have just, I guess, a couple little things that I wanted to talk about, like, everything that happened in the Capitol yesterday with Trump protesters. And I also had like a cute little story that I think might keep you guys smiling at the end of the podcast. So I'll try to leave it off on a good note. But anyway, just to jump right into it, I was recording my podcast pretty consistently, and work was going well. Well, it was fine, and then I got a new manager, and that was so much. Like, just like looking back on it now, he's fired now. He's gone. Still like high key harassing employees, but it's fine. Sorry about my chair, by the way. Like, I was gonna switch chairs before I recorded, but I like to spin around, and my other chairs don't spin around, bro. So I can't I can't have fun in them. Anyway, um, so I got a new manager. Uh, we have the same name. That's all I'll say. Welcome to Bill Bucks. How can I bend you? Oh God. He didn't actually say that. That was just what we. That was how we made fun of him. Um, I don't know. My first terrible interaction with him was probably when our youngest barista came up to him while he was handing me the shift, and he was like, or she was like, "Hey, Bill, I've been like throwing up in the bathroom for the last 20 minutes. Is there any way that I could go home?" And he was like, "We don't send people home in this industry." And I looked at him, and I looked at her, and then we both walked away. And then I went up to her before he left, and I said, "Hey, it's my shift now, so I'm gonna send you home because we absolutely do send people home in this industry, especially when you're vomiting for 20 minutes, considering we work with food." Um, and then it just kind of all spiraled from there. Sorry, give me one sec. Excuse me. It pays to be a vapor. I mean, you pay to be a vapor. It doesn't pay you. Um, but yeah, no, I um at that point like ended up encouraging that barista to call Partner Resources, and then there were a couple other baristas that I encouraged to call Partner Resources, and um, Partner Resources like human resources for Starbucks, if you don't know. Um, but yeah, it just kind of snowballed from there. Like, he did more shit, and every time he did stuff, we would report it either to Partner Resources or our district manager or another store manager, but mostly to our district manager. And we eventually got him fired, which was incredible. And like, I honestly have never felt so proud to work in a store full of people who came together when the going got rough. Uh, I mean, I almost quit my job. A lot of people almost quit their job, but a lot of us don't have a choice. And so what we ended up doing was standing up for ourselves, which is not an easy thing to do. And for some people, it took a lot of convincing for them to stand up for themselves. But at the end of the day, we all made sure that our voice was heard, and we all fought for ourselves. Did I just say fart? We fought, we fought for ourselves and we fought for each other, and it was oh, it was an incredibly terrible thing to go through. Like I just came home from work pretty regularly crying. It's like having panic attacks every day at a certain point. Um, like just the thought, like when he would call me, like I never even saved his number in my phone. Like his number is still like 609 something in my phone. I never bothered because I knew he wasn't gonna last. But yeah, dude, I don't know. It was just fucking insane. Like he would call me and I would just like full panic mode. Like, oh my god, what's he gonna say? What's he gonna ask from me now? How is he gonna make me feel like shit? Like it was just a constant thing with everybody. He would just make them feel like shit. And so like with all of that going on, it was really hard to well, cuz not only that, but I went from like having 2 days off in a row every week to having like Monday off and Friday off maybe. And then like it just my days off were not consistent anymore, and I never ever got 2 days off in a row while he was there unless I requested time off. And even then, like, there's no guarantee he was gonna give it to you. I should have had coffee before I started recording. Cause like my first personal issue with him was I had requested time off for my birthday in October, way back in like August, and it was already approved. And then he like fucked up the schedule for that week and basically like copy pasted the schedule from the week before onto that week. And I was like, Bill, I have like days off requested and approved this week. I'm not working. And like he made it he basically made me feel like it was my fault for what happened. And I was like, fuck you. I'm going to go turn 25 in peace and you can go fuck yourself. That's pretty much what happened in nicer words. Um, but yeah, I just couldn't focus. I didn't have the energy. I didn't have the willpower. I was just so depressed and stressed out all the time about work that I didn't even have it in me to think about the podcast anymore. And so now that that's over, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Hold on, let me chug some of my energy drink. The energy drink from yesterday. um, yeah. So now that that's over, I'm just kind of like in this spot right now, and I feel like there's a big thing that I want to talk about that I don't really know how to talk about on a public forum because it's my private life and I don't know who's going to be listening to this, but if I can just be like very bluntly honest with my audience for a second, because you guys are all my friends. I don't know like what's going on in my love life right now. I know that a lot of you know that I had big plans in the future to move to Canada and start a family and stuff like that. And I think that that is still a possibility, which is why everything's so weird right now. Because I think, honestly, I think at the end of the day, we just rush into things and we're just slowing down. I think that's the easiest way to describe what's happening. And even though I feel like I've gone into this without giving any context to it. So for those of you who don't know, back right before Halloween, I reconnected with someone from basically my childhood that I fell in love with all over again, and it was pretty intense. Like it was like immediately, right off the bat, we were just like attached at the hip in a sense, and I think with the new year coming, we just a lot happened, and I think we realized that we just need to give each other time, and it's been really hard for me to deal with that. I have a lot of issues. I have a lot of trauma with like relationships and with like abandonment issues and attachment issues. So like no matter what was going to happen in this relationship, it was going to be hard for me to deal with cuz I just don't know how to deal with relationships in general. Excuse me. Um so I had a really shitty boss, and then I had a really intense relationship. Have a really intense relationship. I don't know how to phrase things right now. But I also picked up photography while I was off, like not doing the podcast, but I was working. I needed something that was a creative outlet that wasn't going to take as much mental capacity as the podcast did. Um, like I was trying to have hosts or like guests on all the time, and like you have to sync up my audio with the guest audio, and I was also doing the video, and I also was putting it on Spotify and all this other stuff. And like right now, I'm just kind of like taking it. I'm just trying to do it the easy way, in a way that makes sense for me, and that is realistic for me, in a way that I can maintain it. So I'm not trying to go too hard right now, but I did just want to kind of drop in here and like give you guys a words are hard update, that like I do want to do the podcast. I have plans for the podcast. I'm recording this now as an update, and I don't have solid plans for another episode yet, but um, ideas are flowing all the time, every day, and I'm like learning how to use Discord, so I'm hoping that I've been like just sitting back in here, like just not scrolling, but like sitting here in my chair, like rocking back and forth. So I'm sorry if the audio was a little weird for a second there, but I don't want you guys to think that I don't want you guys to think that I gave up on the podcast, because I didn't. I just needed to kind of take a step back and focus on myself before anything else. And now I'm kind of at a point where I'm finding the balance between focusing on myself and work and other people. Like, I don't have to focus on work right now, but that will be coming back into play in a week or so. And I'm also trying to figure out how to balance this relationship that we're not putting a label on or something. I'm trying not to be a bitch about it, honestly. But yeah. So anyway, it's been fun. It's been a fun ride. I'm glad 2020 is over. 2021 has been eventful so far, which I guess that's a nice segue into what happened yesterday. I don't know when this podcast is going to go up or when you will be listening to it, but today is the 7th of January, and yesterday was the 6th. Yesterday was the day that Trump supporters stormed the Capitol and just fucking got wrecked. So just I don't know many details about it. I just saw a bunch of pictures and videos of people just guns ablazing, stealing shit out of the Capitol building, and people were evacuated, and I think a couple people got shot and died. There's tear gas everywhere. Just so much, and people are making memes out of it, and it's honestly, dystopian isn't even the word. It's like it's almost like a parody of reality. Like, when I look at the news sometimes, it feels like someone wrote it as a way to exaggerate how crazy the real world is. Like, everything reads as an Onion article at this point. And now it's like I mean, when we say words are hard, we're not fucking around. Words are hard, especially trying to describe the world these days. I think one thing I do want to say about that is I am all for storming the Capitol to tell Congress to get their shit together and give us our fucking money. Give us our fucking health care. End the fucking wars. Tax Jeff Bezos. However, fuck Trump and fuck anyone who was there yesterday doing what they were doing. Because, like, every single one of them was a Nazi piece of shit. And I will stand by that. I don't fucking care. Like, they were literally wearing Camp Auschwitz sweaters and Nazi and Confederate flag shit all everywhere, just all the time. So Anyway, to brighten your day, real quick, just because I'm assuming this is gonna be a pretty short podcast. I'm just trying to like update you guys, kind of get in, get out, kind of thing. Um, I don't know how many of you guys might have seen this, but KFC made a movie, like a little short film, and I was watching, I believe it was Danny Gonzalez's video or maybe someone else's video about the KFC dating movie thing. And I found out that KFC has a dating simulator on Steam. I wish I was making this up. Let me bring it back up here real quick. I should have had it saved already. Because I downloaded it. I haven't had the opportunity to play it yet. I was going to play it and like review it on the podcast, but I just needed to tell you guys about it. It is like, if you look it up on Steam, it is like full anime senpai vibes, like such K-pop, or I don't even have words. It's called I Love You, Colonel Sanders, a finger-licking good dating simulator. Welcome to the most delicious dating simulator ever created. Do you have what it takes to be the business partner of and win the heart of the most famous chicken salesman of all time? Play to find out. Go ahead. Colonel Sanders is waiting. I hope you enjoyed my reading of I Love You, Colonel Sanders, a finger-looking good simulator. I want to play it and just like read the prompts. It plays like almost like a Pokemon kind of game thing, but it's a legitimate game and it's on Steam for free and I downloaded it. So maybe I'll play it later and I'll update you guys on YouTube or something. I was thinking about making like my YouTube channel into a commentary channel. How would you guys feel about that? Like, I don't know if I would want to do it with video or not, just because that's like a lot of work. But I feel like commentary is just kind of where I've been leaning lately, and I don't really know how to do that kind of thing because I've never done it. But when I think about what kind of thing I would be comfortable doing on YouTube, commentary is always what I come back to, because I mean, I feel like I'm funniest when I'm talking about someone else being stupid. So it's like, it just gives me, I guess, a reason. I don't know. It gives me a reason to explore the internet and find things that I wouldn't normally do. And like, I don't know. It's just where my mind's at. I'm wondering how you guys feel about me being a commentary YouTuber, or if you guys even watch that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Just kind of updating you on my life in general. Like, I feel like I very briefly touched on the photography thing, and I also feel like this whole thing might have just been like a clusterfuck of thoughts. Um, but basically, I'm okay. I'm doing better now, and I'm hoping that the podcast is going to be back on a consistent basis. I'm going to upload this as soon as possible, and I don't know if it's gonna be on Spotify just yet. I might just upload this to YouTube and post it as an episode. I'm not really sure yet what's going on with that, just because it costs money to put this on Spotify. However, whenever you guys are listening to this, just know that I'm working on it. I'm doing my best here. But thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast. Thank you guys so much for your support. I truly just want to say thank you for everyone who's reached out to me in the rough times that I've been experiencing lately, and all the people that have encouraged me to continue to do the podcast. I mean, not just my friends. Like, I don't know if anyone knows who Colin Duddy is, but so backstory on the podcast a little bit. So after this is so much backstory. After my dad passed away in 2016, I want to say it was actually around the end of 2016, the beginning of 2017 is when I rediscovered like YouTube as a form of entertainment, really. And I rediscovered Jenna Marbles and her podcast with her boyfriend Julian Solomita. And I really fell in love with them. And they became like the way I coped with being alone all the time, was I would just like put on one of their podcasts and just like exist with them. And Julian ended up doing a side project called Waftsicle with Colin, and they did like this production thing, and like they did this thing called last minute trips where they would literally throw a dart at a map and they would just fucking go, and they would make a little mini documentary about this place that they've never been to before. And that was when I fell in love with filmography and photography and video editing, and I realized that that is what I want to do, and I want to travel the world, and I want to show people the world in the way that I see it. And that's really why I'm doing the things that I do today. And like, I had been posting about my podcast on Spotify. I had been following like Colin on Twitter for forever, and I don't remember how we ended up interacting on Twitter, but basically he found out that I had a podcast, and he was like, because I told him like, thank you for inspiring me to do this, like I wouldn't be here without you. And he was like, no, you wouldn't be here without you, and like you keep doing you, because like you're amazing. And I was like, I'm gonna fucking cry, and I'm never gonna live another day that's better than this one. Basically, like, one of my heroes told me to keep doing what I'm doing, and so I've kind of forgot about that until a couple weeks ago, and when I think I ended up showing one of my friends the screen cap, and I was like, I don't know if you know who this is, but like, I forgot that this happened, and it made me realize that I don't want to give up on Words Are Hard, and I don't want to give up on, like videography and video editing and stuff like that, because it's what I love to do, and I never want it to be a job or an obligation. I want it to be something that I do because I want to do it and because it makes me happy. And so I don't know how consistent Words Are Hard will be, or like my YouTube channel, or whatever, but just know that when I do it because I love it and I want to do it. I never do it out of an obligation. So if that means anything, I hope you guys know that I love to do what I do, and I will always appreciate anyone who clicks on listen and stays to hear me out, especially if you're one of my friends who really truly doesn't have to stick around for any of this shit, but you do, and you support me, and like, I love you infinitely for it. And all the people that have encouraged me to do this, just thank you, because I really truly wouldn't be here without you. And I think one of the biggest lessons that I've learned about being a human in my 25, almost 26 years is that you never do anything alone, no matter how alone you feel. And having good people in your life will mean more than anything else ever. So thank you. I appreciate you guys. I hope you have a good weekend and a safe weekend. Please stay safe out there. Wear your mask, wash your hands, stay inside, and don't hurt people. All right, you guys have a good time, and I will be back as soon as I can. And until then, have a fucking have a goddamn darn tootin' heckin' of a time. All right. Peace.